Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will, man, and I don't want to see that happen to you. You know you want to do great things. You know you're made for more. But let's be honest, you've been half-arsing it. You've been scared, and you've been playing it safe. And unfortunately, this is going to get you nothing other than mediocrity. And I'm willing to bet that you want more than that. You want the best that life has to offer. You want an amazing social life. You want fantastic relationships with girls. You want a jacked body, and you want to make an abundance of money. So with those things in mind, this video is going to help you to go all in and also receive the benefits from doing so. When I was about 17 years old, I was outside and I was getting some lovely fresh air on this extremely muddy field. It had been raining for like a week probably. Classic British weather. So there was hardly any grass, and I was surrounded by my teammates and the opposition because essentially I was playing a football match. And in this football match, something extremely painful happened to me, and I would say it was arguably the most painful thing that's ever happened to my life. It was excruciating pain. And all of this came because I decided not to go all in on a challenge. And let me just show you what happened to me. Pretty much, as it says here, I dislocated my knee. And before I tell you exactly what treatment they gave me, I just want to explain how this happened. So pretty much there was a ball in the middle of the pitch, of course. You wouldn't believe it in a game of football, but yeah, there was a football in the middle of the pitch, and I was about maybe 10 meters away from it, and so was an opposition player. And we both were sprinting towards the ball at the same time. And as we got closer and closer to the ball, I could see that, he was pretty keen to, crunch me and use aggression or whatever. So when I saw this in the corner of my eye, I decided to back out of the challenge a little bit. And when this happened, I kind of twisted my body in a way where my football boot got stuck in the mud. My body went this way whilst my foot stayed planted in the ground, and my knee just went and it literally just, it was horrific. My kneecap was on the outside of my leg for about an hour whilst I waited for the ambulance to arrive. And then when they arrived, they gave me morphine and I was high as shit and all that stuff. It was great, actually. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to do that again. So it was a pretty horrendous experience. And as I said, this is mainly because I didn't go all in on the challenge, because I'm pretty sure if I didn't back out of the challenge and I crunched him as much as he crunched me, then it wouldn't have been as disastrous for me. But this is just a metaphor for life, because if you don't fully commit to something and if you don't give it your all, there's a really high chance that something will go wrong for you, and you might not reap the rewards that fully committing can do for you. So yeah, if you don't fully commit and you don't give it everything you've got in life, there's a very high chance that this is going to lead to living like an average person. And you don't want that. You want better than that, don't you? That's why you're watching this video. And now let me show you another example, right? So when I was 14, I had my first YouTube channel, and I used to post videos like a guy called Ray William Johnson. I don't even know if you know who that is, but he's an OG. He's one of the first people that I'd ever come across on YouTube, and he used to react to memes and stuff like that. So I pretty much did the same thing, and this was my way of being creative and all this stuff. I just really enjoyed being on camera, even back then. But of course, like a lot of teenagers, I felt extremely embarrassed for my friends and my family to know about this. So I kept all of the videos private, and I wanted to show nobody. Literally didn't want anybody to know about it. And because of this, it led to me not fully committing to the channel, which meant that I didn't publish videos very frequently. And I think I posted one video a month, or if that, to be honest with you. And what do you think happened? Because I didn't stay committed, because I wasn't consistent, the channel was just shit. I mean, it just didn't get any subscribers. I think I had 6 subscribers or something like that. That might also be because I was a cringy young little person. But yeah, it didn't work out for me. Another example is when I tried to get gains for the first time. So when I was about 18, as you can see here, I tried to bulk for the first time in my life. So I was going to the gym a couple of times a week. I didn't really have a clue what I was doing, to be perfectly honest with you. But that wasn't the main issue. The main issue was that I didn't go all in. Can you notice a bit of a trend here? And this gave me mediocre results because I didn't commit to a muscle gaining diet consistently. I wasn't eating enough calories. I wasn't focusing on progressive overload. And this, of course, resulted in lackluster results. results. The fact that I didn't go all in, the fact that I didn't fully commit, led to me having results that weren't what I wanted, right? But with my most recent bulk, which, you know, I've been doing over the last year or just under a year, I've seen so much better results because I've actually committed to a diet and I've actually committed to an exercise program. So do you see where I'm kind of going with this? Essentially, the moral of the story is that this is your sign to go all in. This video is your sign, okay? You're a young man. If you're watching this video, there's a high chance that you're a young man, and that means that you need to be taking risks, okay? Because when you take risks, you can't lose. Because let's say you take a risk and it doesn't pay off, or for whatever reason, essentially you could say it hasn't paid off. But realistically, if you switch your mindset, you can actually start to see it as though you've learnt from that situation. You've learnt from that failure. So yes, it has paid off because you've won. You've learnt that lesson. And obviously, if you take a risk and it immediately pays off, then once again, you've got a W because you've obviously reaped some rewards straight away. When you take a risk as a young man, you can't lose. And if you look at everybody around you, you know, look at the crowd, look at what your friends are doing, look at what most people from, you know, your age group are doing. They're all following the crowd. Everyone's doing the same thing. And usually when you follow the crowd, you're going the wrong way. You have to give everything, you know, to live a life of fulfillment without regrets. You need to leave no stone unturned, right? And just give it everything you've got, because what you don't want is to be on your deathbed in 50 years' time and, you know, you're looking through your life and just feeling so much regret for not giving it all, for not giving it everything that you have. What you want to do is join the 2% mindset. And this image here is absolutely fantastic because what you can see is that in this circle here, this is your comfort zone, right? This is where 98% of the population live. This is where people are fearful. This is where people have regret. This is where people play it safe. This is where people settle for less. And this is where all the boring people live. We don't want to be here because we want to live like the 2% of the population, right? Because this is where the most excitement is. This is where you get the most out of life. This is where you get the most fulfillment. And this is where you get the most confidence. And this is where you go for your dreams. And I really encourage everyone watching this video, you know, including myself, because sometimes I stay in this little circle because it's comfortable and I'm wrapped up in cotton wool. But I constantly have to remind myself to push myself to get out of here. Because when you put in a minimal effort, you get minimal results and you live averagely. And that's what these people here are doing, you know? You don't feel fulfilled and things go wrong. Maybe you dislocate your knee. Maybe something else happens. Maybe you go bankrupt. Maybe you don't get that job you always wanted. Maybe you don't end up with the girl that you liked. Maybe you don't get the body that you desire. This is the life of somebody that doubts themselves, okay? Because this is the kind of person that hasn't proven to themselves that they can do it, right? This is the kind of person that isn't showing themselves any respect. And when you show yourself no respect, you start to not believe in yourself. And how would you expect someone with all of those attributes to survive and to thrive in their life? It's very difficult when you don't respect yourself to thrive in life. So this is why it's so important to just leave no stone unturned. Literally go all in. That is the best way that you can live your life as a young man. Do not have any regrets, mate. And look, I know it's not easy to go all in. I know that because, you know, you probably struggle with confidence. You probably do struggle to believe in yourself, you know? And I was once that person. As I've showed you many examples of me not having confidence and me backing out. But what I need you to know is that you're enough right now. You've made it this far in life that you should have this confidence, because you wouldn't have made it this far if you weren't enough. You might not have all of the skill sets required, but nobody does when they start, okay? Think of Ronaldo. Think of Elon Musk. Think of Kanye West. Do you think these people were out of the womb as like a superstar? Like, they just weren't, you know? They started off in probably a similar position to you, and they just believed in themselves, and they consistently worked because they had that belief, and that's what allowed them to, you know, grow to the top of their industry. They all had that one thing. They all had belief, you know? They worked with what they had, and then their skill set naturally improved. I find it so funny when, like, for example, people will go out on runs and stuff like that, and I find it such a shame when people want to get better at something, but because they aren't very good at it at the start, they just don't commit to it at all. And I think that's such a shame. Like, let's say for example you want to be a good runner, but you might not be very good at the moment. How do you think you're gonna actually get good at running if you don't run, and if you don't stay consistent with it, and if you don't try to improve yourself? Like, you have to run to get better at running, man, you know? And like, even for me on this channel, like, I've got a lot of work to do, right? I'm not the finished article yet, like, far from it. But how do you think I'm gonna get better at making videos? It's literally just by making videos. right? So it's the same concept. You know, I don't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but this doesn't stop me from trying and giving it my all. I've managed to work myself to a point where I have enough confidence in myself. And if you want to increase your confidence, this is what I'd suggest you do. Firstly, tell yourself positive shit. I mean, literally, I wake up in the morning and I look in the mirror. Might sound cringe, but I'll just look in the mirror and tell myself positive things, right? I'll tell myself I'm fucking class, right? I tell myself I'm an animal, I'm a beast, I'm a machine. I can do whatever I put my mind to. And you might not believe yourself when you initially start to do that, but the more and more you do it every single day, eventually there's going to be a day where you're like, holy shit, like I'm actually the man. And that's what you want. That's that confidence, right? And another way that you can increase your confidence is by working on your appearance. So for me, for example, I started going to the gym and I started eating healthier food because I realised that as soon as I improved my physical appearance, my internal appearance, as in my brain, would also improve and my mindset would improve. So that's something you absolutely must be getting on as a young man. And this goes the same with fueling the engine. And essentially, what do I mean by that? Your body is an engine, right? How do you expect it to work at its highest efficiency if you're not giving it the right fuel? In other words, if you're not giving your body the right nutrients and the right food, how do you expect it to work at maximum efficiency? So what you want to be doing is eating real foods. And I've made a diet plan which you can get for free from my description. And this is going to help you in so many ways. It's going to help you to feel more focused and it's going to increase your muscle mass. So do not miss out on that. Believe you can, and you're more than halfway there.